Healing is lonely, and no one prepares you for that. It's something I wish someone had told me, or something I knew about before. Because when you imagine healing, you imagine softness, clarity, peace. You picture the version of yourself that finally gets it together. But nobody tells you about the middle part. Nobody tells you about the distance that forms between you and the life you used to fit into. Nobody tells you how isolating it feels to grow when everyone around you expects you to stay the same. Today, I want to talk about that part. The quiet, the messy, the lonely part. The part that nobody talks about, but all of us go through. The shift. There's a moment in every person's healing journey where you realize, I can't go back to who I was. At first, that realization feels empowering. You feel like you're finally waking up. You're making decisions from a place of clarity instead of a place of survival. You're saying no to the things you used to say yes to, out of fear, guilt, or habit. But no one warns you about the growth that creates distance. But you are no longer the same person that they feel comfortable with. And when you stop abandoning yourself, people feel like you are abandoning them. And that's where the loneliness begins. When you outgrow your normal, healing often starts with this quiet shift inside you. Something small, a moment, a sentence, a moment of truth. When you finally admit, this isn't enough anymore. This isn't me anymore. I deserve more than this. And the moment you admit that, everything around you starts to feel slightly off. Conversations feel emptier. Habits feel heavier. People feel more draining. Your old life starts to feel tight. Like shoes you can technically still wear but shouldn't. But here's the lonely part. You can't fully step into your new life yet because you're still building it. But you also no longer fit into your old one. So you're in this in-between space where everything feels unfamiliar and nothing feels comfortable. 3, the loss no one talks about. When you heal, you don't just lose people. You lose versions of yourself that you relied on for years. You lose the version of yourself that kept the peace at any cost. The ones who tolerated things because you didn't want to be difficult. The one who accepted crumbs because you didn't believe that you deserved the whole cake. The one who stayed quiet so they can feel loved. Letting go of those versions hurt, even if they were hurting you, because those versions got you through a lot. They helped you survive. Healing isn't always about becoming someone new. It's also about grieving who you used to be. And that grief is lonely. The loneliness that comes with clarity. One of the strangest things about healing is this. You start to see things clearly, but clarity doesn't always feel good. You notice the patterns you've ignored for years. You realize certain relationships were built on versions of you that no longer exist. You notice that you're the only one trying to grow. You hear the way people speak to you differently once you stop being someone who is easy to control. That kind of clarity isolates you. Because once you see things for what they really are, you cannot unsee them. And sometimes that means choosing yourself, and even when it leaves you standing alone. 5, you start walking alone. There's a chapter of healing that nobody glamorizes. The part where you're with your thoughts more than ever, journaling more than you ever did before. Your phone gets quiet. Your boundaries get stronger. Your social circle gets smaller. And when the world might look at that and think that something is wrong, but what's actually happening is you're making space. You're clearing out everything that kept you from hearing yourself. And hearing yourself for the first time, it's beautiful, but it also hurts because you start remembering what you actually want. You start acknowledging the things that you've been ignoring. You start realizing how long you've been living on autopilot. Healing forces you to sit with yourself. And sitting with yourself is one of the most intimate, challenging, transformative things that you will ever do. the rebuilding. Eventually, something shifts again. Your loneliness starts to feel like less emptiness and more like space. Quiet becomes comforting. Solitude becomes sacred. You start to feel proud of yourself like you never have before. You start trusting your decisions. You start seeing glimpses of the person that you are becoming. You start liking yourself. Your life isn't fully rebuilt yet, but you can finally see the foundation taking shape. This part is tender. This part is slow. This part is meant to be protected. 7. When you realize that you are not alone. On the outside, healing looks lonely, but internally, this is the first time you've ever truly connected with yourself. You are not performing, you are not pretending, you are not shrinking. You are meeting yourself for the first time in your adult life. And here's the quiet truth. You are never alone. You just finally stopped abandoning yourself. And the more you choose yourself, the more the right people, the people who resonate with the newer, healthier version of you, begin to appear. Healing filters your life. It doesn't leave you empty. It leaves you with what is real. So, if you are in the lonely part of healing right now, if you feel like you're losing more than you're gaining, if you feel like nobody understands this version of you, I want you to know this. Lean into your loneliness. Not because it's comfortable, not because it's transformative, but because this is the part where you rebuild. This is the part where you learn yourself. This is the part where you stop accepting the bare minimum. This is the part where you evolve into someone your younger self would be proud of. Healing is lonely, but it's not forever. The version of you who is waiting on the other side is worth every quiet night, every boundary, and every version that you have to leave behind. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are simply becoming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.